Hey, in this episode, I'm going to make a really big announcement about some videos that are going to be coming soon. Welcome to Urban Monk TV. Hey, welcome to Urban Monk TV. As you know, a lot of what I offer here on the channel is wrenching on motorcycles, and in particular vintage motorcycles, but I've also done some other things. I've also done maintenance videos and inspection videos on my Suzuki V-Strom, or what I call the everyday bike, and of course my cafe racer, Mr. Corton. And lately it's been the CX500 project. But you know, as much as I love wrenching, I also love riding, and in particular I love like moto camping, where you load the bike up with all your gear and head out for a weekend or a few days and enjoy being on two wheels and being out in nature. Well, I've had the itch for a long time to do a very big, extreme, large moto camping adventure, and I'm happy to say that's going to happen. I am embarking in about 3 weeks or so on a very big 25-day coast-to-coast across America moto adventure camping trip. And I'm going to do it on my Suzuki V-Strom. Same bike with 70,000 miles on it. I'm going to show you how much faith I have in this motorcycle and ride from the Los Angeles area. Originally, I was going to be going to St. John's in Newfoundland in Canada because I've always wanted to see that area. 2, I'm a huge fan of Canada, and I've never had a visit or an adventure up there that I didn't enjoy. And my dad was in the Navy and was stationed in Newfoundland back in the 50s, and I've grown up watching these old 8mm films of him putting up weather balloons in Newfoundland, and I thought it would be really cool to see all that. Anyways, that's not happening. I've been watching the border situation between the US and Canada very closely for a long time now, and it really doesn't seem like I can 100% count on the ability to cross that border for, non-essential travel, as it would be called. And as I'm just a US citizen and I don't have any ties in citizenship or family with Canada, I'm just not going to be able to cross that border. So that's unfortunate for me, but that's okay, because my alternative plan has always been to go to another place I really love and have visited in the past, which is Maine. In particular, there's a restaurant in Portland, Maine called Jay's Oyster Bar, and that's the goal. I'm going there to have some great seafood. But on the way, I'm taking you with me. I'm going to do at least a 12 episode, that's only 2, but put a 1 on that, 12 episode adventure series here on Urban Monk TV. It is going to be brought to you in part by Alpha Moto, who has graciously sponsored this trip and is helping me along the way with some of the costs. Not all of them, but some of them, and thank you very much, guys. For the effort, I'll put in below a link to Alpha Moto's website. They sell some fantastic tools for working on vintage motorcycles and automotive vehicles and applications, but they've given me a discount code. I'll put that below in the description, so check that out. But I am going to leave Los Angeles here in about 3 weeks. I will be gone for 25 days, packing everything up on my V-Strom as I've done in the past, and along the way I'm going to do as much camping as I can. I am going to get some motels for a shower here and there, you know, maybe every 4th day or something. But for the most part, this is camping, and I'm going to try to hit some really beautiful spots in America, including Bryce Canyon, Mesa Verde, Devil's Tower for you Close Encounters of the Third Kind fans, Mount Rushmore and the Badlands in Medora, North Dakota. Then I'm going to head east. I will go through Fargo, my hometown, and visit some of the sites that I talk about in my book, Creating Mr. Corton, and share some of that with you. Then through Minnesota, a state that I love dearly. And then we'll hug the south side of the Great Lakes and go up through the UP of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, for those that didn't know that. Over to Niagara Falls and the Adirondacks and through New England, and finally to Jay's Oyster Bar in Portland, Maine. My good buddy Rodney, who many of you have met on some of my visits to the Quail and my ride up the West Coast, he will be joining me for some of this trip because he too has family in Fargo and will happen to be there on his motorcycle. So hope that he'll be able to join me for quite a bit of this trip, although he lives in North Carolina and will have to return that way for home. So what's in store for Urban Monk TV while I'm on the road? Well, I am going to pop on once in a while and do some live streaming video from the road, but I don't quite have an idea of where and when that's going to happen. So subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell so that you know when I've popped on, and you may catch me, you know, like in Fargo riding my old paper route, or a live shot from the Grand Canyon or something like that, Yosemite, who knows. This trip is in large part half planned. I've got some reservations out there, but I've also left it open. There's many nights where I don't know where I'm going to be sleeping exactly, giving me a little bit of flexibility. Another thing that's going to happen on the way back to Los Angeles, headed west, I have an old bandmate from my absolute first, you know, garage band when I was like 18 years old, and he lives in Wisconsin, and he has this music festival on his property. He's got like a small hobby farm, I believe. Don't quote me on that, I haven't been there. But he has this small music festival, and he's been inviting me for years to come to this thing. His name is Marty, and I'm gonna go to that music festival for once this year and make it part of this trip. And so you may, I don't know, you may get to see me play some music or even sing something. But anyways, on the channel, what's going to happen in the near term before I go? I have to get some maintenance done on the V-Strom before I go. Now, the V-Strom is a pretty maintenance-free motorcycle. There's not a whole lot to do with this thing, but the trip will be almost, if not all, of 10,000 miles round trip. And so that's going to have to require an absolute brand new rear tire on the way out. My front tire's fine, it'll make it. Thanks to Shinko Tires for helping me out with a tire for this trip. I also need to do a valve tappet clearance check because the bike is due for one at 75,000 miles. Every 15,000 miles I'm supposed to check this. And I've been doing that in videos on my channel. If you want to see that process, I do have videos of how to check the clearance on the valve tappets. But the 75,000 mile mark will hit in the middle of my trip. So I'm at almost 71,000 miles now. I'm just going to check it before I go. So I'll be doing a video of that, which will turn out to be a 70,000 mile review of the Suzuki V-Strom. We'll see the internal health of the engine. I'll do a compression check and things like that. So that's coming. And then I just need new plugs for the trip. They're due, new air filter. I'm going to be riding in the hottest time of the year through the southwest of the country, so that'll be a challenge. but I'm gonna put new coolant in the bike. Other than that, you know, the V-Strom just goes and goes and goes reliably. There isn't a whole lot to do with the bike, but there's some upcoming episodes, and then also just an episode on what I'm packing and like a departure video, and that's it. Epic motorcycle, moto camping adventure. I'm gonna call this thing Palms, Pines, and Fishing Lines, because that's where I'm going, from Los Angeles palm trees through the pines of northern Minnesota, the Rocky Mountains, and then everything in New England, all along the southern edge of the Great Lakes. But that's it. Stay tuned for Palms, Pines, and Fishing Lines. Thanks to Alpha Moto for sponsoring. Hey, if you like these videos and what I'm doing, and if you want to make sure that you get all of this trip and this series and don't miss anything, click that like button and subscribe if you want to become an urban monk. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. If you like motorcycles, custom builds, or just like a good story about a man's 3-year effort to build a tribute to his childhood teacher, get a copy of Creating Mr. Corton. In it, you'll learn how this man changed this man for the better. How this man took this and built this. How these guys became lifelong friends and enthusiasts of motorcycling and craftsmanship. And how the name Urban Monk originated. It's available from Amazon anywhere in the world that Amazon ships, in both paperback and ebook, or you can purchase through a link found on urbanmonktv.com. Get your copy of Creating Mr. Corton today.